Hello, my name is Ryan Valent Chang, and today I'll be presenting about Peace Haven, which is the non-profit organization which I have created in order to solve the housing crisis for immigrants within Los Angeles. So here's a little introduction. Immigrants make roughly 35% of Los Angeles' varied population, and along with that, a third of these immigrants often struggle with housing and general needs. So, with this comes a task that demands our collective attention, which is to ensure appropriate and affordable housing for immigrants. The hope of a fresh start for immigrants is frequently greeted with the very harsh reality of an unforgiving housing market, and that usually demands very unreasonable costs in densely crowded places. So, moving on with that, this is our vision as Peace Haven. So, Peace Haven is committed to creating an environment where everyone feels included and has a chance to build a future in Los Angeles. Uh, Here, we believe that affordable and sustainable housing provides stability and support, allowing individuals and families to thrive. Along with our vision, this is Peace Haven's missions. So, with great priority, we want to provide affordable and adequate housing for immigrants within Los Angeles and fostering a peaceful, loving, and supportive community. So, this is our mission statement. At Peace Haven, our mission is to remove the obstacles that immigrants in Los Angeles encounter when it comes to housing. We provide a nurturing environment that goes beyond providing shelter. So, our goal is to establish a community where individuals and families, regardless of their backgrounds, can create lives, chase their aspirations, and make contributions to the vibrant community in Los Angeles. Here are the general areas of concerns in terms of laws and regulations. So first we would have zoning regulations, then COVID-19 regulations, torts, contracts, intellectual property, criminal law issues, sustainability issues, and nonprofit tax regulations. Uh, so the first general areas of concern. Zoning regulations. It is important to follow the zoning laws to make sure that our housing projects are located in the designated areas for use. We also need to obtain the permits and approvals for construction and land use. So, given the intricate urban planning fabric of the city, it becomes imperative to meticulously follow zoning laws. So, by doing so, we would ensure that our housing projects are strategically situated in areas specifically designated for residential purposes. This allows for more adequate housing instead of unstable housing. So, this strategic placement not only aligns with the broader vision of urban development but also contributes to the effective utilization of available resources and infrastructure. Moreover, as part of our commitment to regulatory compliance, obtaining the requisite permits and approvals for construction and land use is integral. This procedural step involves engaging with local planning departments and zoning boards to validate the legality of our housing projects. Beyond mere procedural formalities, this process fosters transparency, community engagement, and adherence to the legal standards, thereby fortifying our organizational ethos. Sorry. Next is COVID-19 regulations. So, main goal is assuring the safety of residents through following and adhering to the health regulations for COVID-19. In the unprecedented context of the global COVID-19 pandemic, the safety and well-being of our residents take precedence. This commitment is exemplified through our dedicated adherence to and implementation of stringent health regulations crafted to combat the spread of COVID-19. So, assuring the safety of our residents goes beyond a more acknowledgement of health regulations. It is also a proactive commitment to creating a secure living environment. So, by meticulously following and adhering to the prescribed health regulations for COVID-19 set in place in California, we actively contribute to the broader public health agenda. This includes the implementation of measures to reduce the risk of transmission within communal spaces, shared facilities, and the entire housing community. So next is liability issues. So these are to address potential liabilities. Safety measures are very important and should be implemented as accidents could and often happen in a household. So in the multifaceted realm of addressing liability issues, it is imperative to adopt a proactive stance by implementing comprehensive safety measures. The rationale behind this proactive approach lies in the acknowledgement that accidents and unforeseen incidents can potentially transpire within a household setting. Personally, I often fall in my household too. So, to safeguard against potential liabilities stemming from such occurrences, our organization is committed to instituting and meticulously enforcing safety protocols within our housing projects. These protocols encompass a spectrum of measures, including but not limited to the installation of safety equipment, conducting regular safety inspections, and fostering a culture of awareness and responsibility among residents. By embracing these proactive measures, we not only mitigate potential legal challenges, but also underscore our dedication to creating a secure and protected living environment for our residents. So moving on, contracts. So creating contracts for our construction purposes, positive negotiations with contractors, suppliers, and service providers. We also need to ensure contracts are to be followed and taking safety measurements, and it's important to take safety measurements in order to resolve any potential disputes. So in the dynamic landscape of construction endeavors, the creation of contracts is foundational to our commitment to excellence. The focus extends beyond the mere procedural formalities of contract creation. It encompasses positive negotiations with contractors, suppliers, and service providers, and this is the goal. So by fostering collaborative and mutually beneficial relationships during negotiations, we would then lay the groundwork for successful project execution. These negotiations would involve transparent communication, fair and equitable terms, and a shared commitment to the successful realization of our construction projects. Next on is intellectual property. So with intellectual property, it's important that we make sure that that our intellectual property stay protected while considering cost of production. Costs of production are often expensive for a non-profit, as costs are something that need to be managed very efficiently. In the dynamic landscape of intellectual property, our organization is deeply committed to the meticulous safeguarding of these valuable assets. A key facet of this commitment involves the judicious consideration of costs associated with intellectual property protection, recognizing that the costs of protection can be inherently expensive, especially in the realm of nonprofit organizations where fiscal responsibility is paramount. We would then adopt strategic and cost-effective approaches to managing these expensive. Next on is criminal law issues. So with our unwavering commitment to the safety and security of our housing community, we'd have to very much consider criminal law issues, as we are also dealing with immigrants, as a lot of immigrants tend to have a history as they struggle with a lot of things. So it is important. Is very important to make sure tenants and employees have their background checks in order to eradicate any potential criminal activity from happening within the housing communities, and ensuring contracts are to be followed and taking safety measurements in order to resolve any potential disputes. So moving on, Peace Haven, and this is my specified issues, which is torts and liability issues. So first is the premises liability, and specifically property inspections. So regular property inspections are very, very important when it comes to housing communities. In California, premises liability laws require property owners to protect others from damages conditions that can cause injury or damage. If an owner fails to maintain their property or warn of a known danger and someone sustains injuries, they can be responsible for the victim's economic and non-economic damages. A premises liability claim requires you to show negligence on the property owner's part with the help of a personal injury lawyer. So exploring the facts of this So with this, we there's a law in Business and Professions Code section 7195 which states that the home inspections and home inspectors, as well as imposing certain duties and constraints. A home inspection is defined as non-invasive physical examination performed for a fee in connection with a transfer, as defined in subdivision E of real property of the mechanical, electrical, or plumbing systems or the structural and essential components of a residential dwelling of 1 to 4 units, designed to identify material defects in those systems, structures, and components. A material defect is defined as a condition that significantly affects the value, desirability, habitability, or safety of the dwelling, and so regular inspections must be done on these things. Things such as safety features, structural integrity, plumbing and electrical systems, and common areas, which includes areas such as stairs, hallways, living rooms. So, contractual liability. First off, we start with establishing clear contracts. So, at the core of successful contractual relationships lies clear communication. We prioritize transparent and open lines of communication with all stakeholders, ensuring that expectations, responsibilities, and obligations are clearly articulated in our agreements. A meticulous approach to drafting contracts is fundamental. Establishing clear contracts is also very important for relationships with suppliers and stuff like that. So legal expertise and consultation. Recognizing the complexity of contractual obligations, we would try to engage legal experts specializing in nonprofit and housing law. Their guidance ensures that our contracts are not only legally sound, but also align with the unique challenges and opportunity in providing affordable housing within California. So, timelines, payment structures, and any specific considerations unique to affordable housing initiatives should be taken into account. Regular contract reviews and updates is a very important one, as contracts are dynamic documents that should evolve with changing circumstances. So we would conduct regular reviews to assess the relevance and effectiveness of our contractual agreements, making updates as needed to address emerging challenges or seize new opportunities. So, in addition to limiting liability in a contract, parties may also agree to exclude or limit damages consistent with cal.com.code 27193, which states parties may limit consequential damages of a commercial loss so long as the limitation is not unconscionable. I'm sorry for the bad pronunciation. Next is inadequate supervision of residents. So, failure to provide adequate supervision of residents may lead to accidents or incidents resulting in liability. So, our solution for this would be to establish clear guidelines for resident behavior and community rules, provide appropriate supervision, especially in common areas, and address any concerns promptly. Our first strategic step would be to establish clear supervision policies. So, clear delineation of acceptable supervision practices is a crucial aspect of these policies. This includes specific guidelines on monitoring common areas, responding to emergencies, and addressing cultural diversity within the housing community. The policies serve as a proactive measure, providing a framework for creating a safe and supportive living environment. Next is comprehensive training programs. So, building on the foundation of clear policies, we recognize the importance of investing in our most valuable asset, our staff and volunteers. Our commitment to excellence is manifested through comprehensive training programs designed to equip our team with the skills and knowledge necessary for effective supervision. So, conducting regular staff meetings. This is very important as communication lies at the heart of successful supervision. So, regular staff meetings provide a structured platform for the team to come together, discuss ongoing supervision issues, and share valuable experiences. So, document training and supervision procedures. Uh, in our We place significant emphasis on documentation as detailed records of staff and volunteer training is very important. Including attendance logs and covered topics serve as a repository of excellence. This documentation not only ensures accountability but also acts as a resource for continuous improvement. Moving on, insurance coverage. Main issues lie with liability insurance assessment, which regularly assesses the nonprofit organization's liability insurance coverage. That's something that's very important. So, ensuring that the coverage aligns with the specific risks associated with providing housing, we should consider factors such as property damage, bodily injury claims, and other potential liabilities. So, professional liability insurance. Depending on the services provided, we'll consider obtaining professional liability insurance, also known as errors and omissions insurance. This coverage can protect the organization against claims of negligence, errors, or omissions in the delivery of services, including housing-related activities. So, next is property insurance for affordable housing units. Obtain comprehensive property insurance to cover potential damages to affordable housing units. This coverage should include protection against natural disasters, fire, theft, and other hazards, as that's things that happen to most households. And regularly review and update the property insurance to reflect changes in the organization's assets. Lastly, it's legal counsel and insurance advisors. So, establishing a relationship with legal counsel and insurance advisors who specialize in nonprofit and housing law is essential. Seeking their guidance in selecting and customizing insurance coverage to address the unique risks associated with providing affordable housing for immigrants. And this is my works cited list. Thank you for listening.